Hello, welcome to the read louds. Day something. We're gonna do our read louds. Don't mind that stuff. Okay. Our nursery collection. 5 more days until Christmas. Oh yeah. So, let's go over our news before. I have something very important. So, personal news. Christmas is on Saturday. This Saturday. So Friday, I'm going to do it very, very early in the morning. Like as soon as I wake up, do my read louds. Because I want to get it done. Because later, it's going, I don't know why, but my eyes are watering here. Okay, so, yeah. So, don't be like worried that I didn't do my read alouds Friday. That's because, because Christmas is Saturday and Friday is our read alouds. So I'm going to do it really early in the morning. So, okay. Oh yeah, let's do her. Okay, I keep saying okay. Man, Friendly Fun's read aloud. We have a giveaway for Adopt Me, a snow owl, so go check that out. For my channel, we have a music video that you guys have to watch. 9 views, pretty good. Go watch it. There's no music in the background, but there's songs. So, and for Shark Dog Gaming, I'm doing day 2, day 3, day 4 of opening Fortnite presents on there. So go watch it. They're pretty popular, so I wouldn't want you to miss out. And Dummy Plays, which is my big brother's channel. Go subscribe. Link of all of our channels in the description. Let's get started. So, characters at Crossroads. Dad Whoopie Kid. We're going to start with this book. The Pokemon, and our nursery collection. So let's start with the Dad Whoopie Kid third wheel. So, Monday, we read about how Ruby got paired up with Fregley, and most of the boys didn't get chosen. So, you have to read that episode Friday to figure out who they danced with. Alright, let's get started. Today's Monday in the world, which is actually Monday, so that's very nice. Today at school, gym, physical education was canceled because we had a general assembly during the 4th period. I have to admit, I was a little disappointed when I found out because, believe it or not, me and Carlos had actually been getting the hang of the marine. So this is the person that Gregory's dancing with. If you're wondering why I'm going like this, I'm making sure you guys can see the pictures. Most people were pretty excited though, because we hadn't had a general assembly since November. That's when the hypothesis called the Amazing Andrew came to our school. In the grand final of his show, the Amazing Andrew hypnotized a line of 8th graders into thinking their arms are super glued together. So he hypnotized them, and they think their arms are stuck together. Then he told the guys he unglued them with a magic word, and when he said that, they came apart just like that. Cucumber. So he said cucumber, and they are unstuck. After school, some kids got into an argument over whether the hypnotism was real or if those 8th graders were in on the act and just faking it. Two of the kids who thought Amazing Andrews was a fake linked arm, and then Martin Ford tried to hypnotize them to thinking they were super glued together. So he's trying it. These two people are trying to prove it's real. Believe it or not, it worked. The 2 kids couldn't separate their arms, and they totally panicked. Martin tried saying the magic word, but he couldn't unstick them. Cucumber! Cucumber! So he's snapping his fingers. This guy right here, and they're not working. Everyone's just panicking. The kids went back to the school, and one of the teachers had to track down the Amazing Andrew at his job so they could say the magic word and separate them. So they literally had to come to his job. I have no idea how the school chooses the people who come in and do the assemblies. One person they brought in last year was a guy called Strong Steve. He gave a speech about how we needed to stay off drugs. And then for his grand finale, he ripped a phone book in half with his bare hands. Oh, my bookmark fell. Oh, speaking of, we don't need this stupid bookmark anymore. It's not stupid, but I love this card. Well, I'll show you my new bookmark. Don't ask me what ripping a phone book has to do with anything staying off drugs. But the kids at my school went crazy for this guy. In fact, the librarian had to replace half of the reference books on our shelves after Strong Steve's visit. So they're just ripping these books, and that's in the library, by the way. The person I'm really hoping they don't bring back is a singer named Carissa. I don't think school likes to bring Carissa for assemblies because her lyrics are really positive. Trust in your dreams and you'll see how just happy your heart can be. Reach for the stars and never stop. You're a winner, you always the top. So this is Carissa. She was singing for the assembly. Carissa called herself an international pop sensation, but I don't know how she gets away with that. As far as I can tell, she's never even been out of the state. Carissa World Tour. So this is her shirt. One of my favorite assemblies was one where a police officer came to our school and told us about being a narc. He said his job was to pose as a high school student and then report on the kids who were up to no good. So this is a police officer. I thought that sounded like an awesome job. If I can get paid to go to school without doing homework or taking tests and send all the jerks to jail, then that's a career for me. Miss Johnson, David Marks is shooting spitballs again. After the police officer came to our school, me and my friend Rolly decided to start our own detective agency. So they're outside and they have this little stand. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of demand for private detectives in our neighborhood, and nobody wanted to hire us, but we decided to start spying on people anyway. So we're spying on these two couples. It was actually a lot of fun. The great thing about being a private investigator is that you can poke around in other people's lives, and it's just a part of your job. So they're going through the trash. I mean, like, why? It's just like apples and... We mostly focus on our investigation on Mr. Willies, who lived a few doors up the street from me. It's not like he was doing anything suspicious. It's just that we had all the movie channels on the cable. So they're just looking at him through the window. Our detective agency fell apart, though. After we started investigating Scotty the longest, I let him borrow a video game over the summer, and he said he lost it. But I knew he was lying, so I sent Rolly down to Scotty's house to get him caught up. I thought Rolly had to act really tough and crack his knuckles a lot so Scotty would get the rest that we weren't fooling around. So, Greg is teaching him how to be tough. But when Rolly didn't come back right away, I started to wonder what happened. I went down to Scotty's house myself to investigate, and I caught Rolly red-handed playing my video game with Scotty. So that's one thing the detectives got. I had to fire Rolly on the spot, and if I ever start another detective agency, the first thing I was going to do is hire a more intimidating enforcer. Anyway, like I said, everyone was excited to find out who the guest was for today's assembly. But it turned out there wasn't a guest. After we sat in the gym, Vice Principal Roy got up on stage and said the reason he gathered us all together was to announce that there was going to be a special election to replace the student council. We had the student council elections in fall, but the class offers were skipping the meetings because they were held during recess, and I guess the advisors got fed up. So they're outside playing, and the principal and I guess his assistant are just watching them play. But Vice Principal Roy said there's two conditions for running for office. One, you are willing to attend all the student council meetings, and two, you can't have 3 detentions or more. I feel like that second rule was directed at me because I just picked up my 3rd detention. In my first year in middle school, an 8th grader told me that there was a secret elevator that went to the 2nd floor and that he could sell me a special pass for $5. So he's selling him an 8th grader. I mean, why is he even talking to an 8th grader? That sounded like a good deal to me, so I gave him $5 for the pass, which looked pretty official. Elevator pass. So this is the elevator pass. You guys can pause this and read it if you guys want. But it turned out the whole thing was a scam and there was no such thing as a secret elevator. So they're just watching. It's just a closet. I've been holding on that elevator pass ever since, but a few weeks ago I sold it to a kid who's new in our school. Unfortunately, I wasn't careful enough and I got busted by Vice Principal Roy, who made me return the money. So he got caught. He gave me detention, which really stunk because I gave him the kid a deal by selling him the pass at half price. After the assembly, I realized something. Rolly had never had a detention, so he'll be perfect candidate for a student council. I told him he should run, but he said he wouldn't know what he would do if he got elected. But that's where I come in. I told him if he gets elected, I can make all the tough decisions, and all I have to do is show up for the meetings and do what I tell him. I think it's a genius idea because I'll get to be in power, but I won't have to miss any recess. I vote for double recess and half days on Fridays. I vote double recesses and half days on Fridays. So he's helping him. I volunteered to be his campaign manager so he wouldn't even have to lift finger to get elected. So he went right to the bulletin board in front of the hallway to sign Rolly up. I told him he should run for one of the juicy spots like president or vice president, but he wanted to run for social chairperson. I have no idea what a social chairperson does, but as long as Rolly gets to vote on the important decisions, I'm fine with it. So they're signing up on the bulletin board. And that is it. I'm going to go show you guys my new bookmark. It's right here. Okay, this is the bookmark. It's a Transformers one. So I'm going to use this for now. And that is our Diver Wimpy Kid book for today. Let's read our characters at Crossroads, which the bookmark is smudged. Yep. Okay, so last time we read actually a really good story. It was called Cassie's Fight. And it was a African-American family and how Cassidy works for this, she works for this one girl named Lillian Jean, and they talk in an accent, so it's pretty good. And at the end, Lillian Jean gets it. So you guys have to go check that out. Alright, now let's read our book. Mary McLeod Booth. Okay. This is in Daytona Beach, Florida, 1920. We'll just call her Mary. Mary's heart pounded. 80 members of the Ku Klux Klan had come to her school for African American girls. She was using it for night classes to prepare African American women and women to vote. The Klan threatened to burn down the building if she didn't stop. She refused and tensions mounted. Mary had poured her heart into the school, borrowing materials and begging boxes and crates from local stores to use as desks and chairs. She won support from both the African American and white communities. Mary knew a good education could be life-changing, as it's been for her. The daughter of a former slave, Mary's education enabled her to go from picking cotton in South Carolina, I don't know. I know that word, South Carolina, Jesus, to becoming a high respected teacher. She once said, "The whole world opened to me when I learned to read." Mary had rejoiced when women had won the right to vote in 1920. As a result, Mary led a voter registration drive for African American women and men to make it more difficult for them to vote. Officials required them to first take a literacy test. Mary offered evening reading classes at her school to help potential African American voters pass the test. Now the Ku Klux Klan, determined to keep African Americans from voting, was threatening to burn down the school. Mary stood the entire night in front of the campus, prepared to defend it. But amazingly, the Klan left without causing harm. The next day, a trumpet Mary led her 101st time African Americans voters to the polls. Her school eventually merged into a men's college, and today it's called Bethel Cookman University. So that was about Mary's, how she protected her school. She did a good job with it. So next time we read will be about Mafatu's journey trailer. So that will be exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I almost said I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're not over yet. We have our Pokemon to do. Okay. Alright. So last time we read about Jigglypuff's upgrades. Now let's read Zubat. Bat Pokemon. Type Poison Flying. Sunlight isn't good for Zubat, so it stays hidden during the day. It prefers dark places like caves and old houses. How to say it? Zubat. Zubat. Myrtle height 207. Myrtle height 0.8 meters. Myrtle weight 16.5 limbs and metric weight 7.5 kilograms. Possible moves: Leech Life, Supersonic, Anonish, Bite, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, Swift, Air Cutter, or Backs, Mean Look, Poison Fang, Haze, and Air Slash. So this is Zubat's first upgrade. He's very terrifying and doesn't have little eyes when he's a baby. And now we have Golbat, Bat Pokemon, type Poison Flying. With its 4 sharp fangs, Golbat feeds on living beings. Darkness gives it an advantage in battle. It prefers to attack on pitch black nights. How to say Golbat. Golbat. Myrtle height 503. Myrtle height 1.6 meters. Myrtle weight 121.3 limbs and metric weight 55.0 kilograms. Possible moves: Screech, Leech Life, Supersonic, Astronish, Bite, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, Swift, Air Cutter, Acrobats, Mean Look, Poison Fang, Hash, and Air Slash. So this is Golbat on the side right here. Alright, so that was, he only has 2 upgrades. So the next one we're going to read about Oddish. We're going to read about Oddish's upgrades. So that will be cool, I guess. Alright, so that was our Pokemon for today. Now let's read our final book, which is our nursery collection. So we actually have a story, so I'll get to that in a couple minutes. So last time we read about 5 fat sausages. And then we also did an activity called 2 Fat Gentlemen. And they were both little little activities. So now we're going to read about Message in a Bottle, which is actually a story. Frosty the polar bear dipped a huge hairy paw into a hole in the ice and felt around. He was sure enough he'd seen something glimmering beneath the surface of the water. Just then Becky the penguin popped up through the hole, clutching something under his wing. It was a glass bottle. I thought I saw something odd. What is it? Said Frosty. What is it? I don't know, said Becky. I found it in the ocean, far away on the other side of the icebergs. It was floating on the waves. The 2 friends sat and looked at the bottle. There's something inside, said Becky. Let's take it out. They took it out of the cork, and Becky reached inside with his beak and pulled out a note. What does it say? Asked Frosty. So this is the cover of it. Looks very cute. Becky peered closely at the note. It says, Help, I was stranded on a deserted island. My boat is broken. It is very hot. Love, Brownie, the bear. Read Becky. There's a map on the other side. Do you think we should help? So the polar bear is Frosty and the penguin is Becky. Of course we should, said Frosty. It sounds like one of my cousins is in trouble, and it will be a great adventure. I've always wanted to know how hot it feels like. So on the side, there's little fishes, and that makes sense because penguin and polar bear, I believe, like fish. The two friends studied the map carefully, then set off across the ice and the snow until they reached the sea. They turned and waved goodbye to their chilly home, dived into the ice and water, and started to swim south in the direction of the desert island. After a while, Frosty began to feel tired. He had never swum so far away from home before. Let's rest a while, said Becky. And they flipped over in the water and lay floating along on their backs. Do you think it's much farther? Asked Frosty. Oh, yes, much farther, said Becky. The water hasn't even begun to get warm yet. By the time we get there, it'll be like taking a hot bath. I've never had one of those, said Frosty excitedly. Why like it? I'm not sure, said Becky. So the two friends kept swimming towards the sunshine. Gradually, the water grew warmer and warmer. Frosty started to laugh. So on the side of this one, there's penguins, and on here, there's a little picture of Becky and Frosty swimming in the water. My skin's all nice and tingly, he chuckled. On and on they swam. The bright sun beat down on their heads. By now, Frosty was puffing and panting with every stroke. I think I must be feeling hot, he said. I don't think I can swim much farther. You don't have to, said Becky, pointing with his wing. There's the island! On the shore, Brownie was jumping up and down with excitement and waving his paws. You found me, he cried. Imagine my little bottle floating all the way to the North Pole. So right here, they arrived at the island, and on the side are the fish again. Imagine me swimming all the way here from the North Pole, panted Frosty as he straggled out of the water and collapsed in a heap on the hot sand. I'm exhausted. Brownie led his rescuers to the shelter of a cave he had found nearby, and they rested there a while until they recovered. As the night fell, Brownie built a fire on the beach, and they sat telling stories. He told them all about finding a little boat and set a sail across the sea, and how his boat had been shipwrecked. So Brownie is the brown bear, and on the side are the little pictures of penguins. I thought I'd be stranded here forever, Brownie said, and I want to go home. Don't worry, said Frosty. We'll get you home, but first, let's get a good night's rest. The next morning, the three friends had lots of fun playing on the beach. I'm not sure I like the hot, though, said Frosty. It makes me tired and uncomfortable, and this sand stuff gets everywhere. The others laughed. Let's get going, then, said Beaky. So Frosty's not really into this hot weather. He thought he would, but he doesn't. Here's the penguins on the side. And so they set off back across the ocean, pulling Brownie along on a raft he made, since he wasn't a good swimmer like the others. It was another long, hard journey, but when they finally reached Brownie's house and saw how happy he was to be back there, they knew it was worth it. You can see that they're swimming in the water, and Brownie's on a little log rift. Promise you'll come and visit me again? Cried Brownie as the others waved goodbye and set off once more with their chilly home. We will, cried Frosty, but not if you're somewhere hot. I can't wait to get home and slide all over the ice. So the fish is on the other side again. That was so cute. I love that story. Alright, well, that is it for today's Read Aloud. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Make sure to subscribe.